Welcome back to our YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your continued support. Now, Fred Matiang'i, the former Interior Cabinet Secretary, the most trusted member of the cabinet to Uhuru Kenyatta, a man who gave William Ruto problems in their second term when Uhuru appointed him as a super CS, supervising all the other CSs. Today, began his maiden Abagusi tour to seek for endorsement to become the president of this country. But as they say, charity begins at home. He was seeking for endorsement from his brothers and sisters from the Omogusi community. Now, Fred Matiang'i broke his silence because after getting into the country, when he was endorsed by the Jubilee Party as the presidential candidate, people have been asking what he is up to. Critics say that Fred could not rely on others to endorse him, while he cannot come out and tell them that he's ready for the big task ahead of them. And Fred Matiang'i began his Abagusi or Omogusi tour in the two counties, Nyamira and Kisii, and they didn't disappoint him. That was an electrifying moment. A Mammoth crowd. They came in their large numbers. The feeling was very ecstatic. And in one accord, they endorsed Matiang'i to begin that journey. Now, Fred Matiang'i had got one message, a message of hope, that we should not lose focus, we should not be despondent, we should focus. When the time comes, they will walk that journey together. And I think that was a message from a leader who knows what he wants.
I want to tell you this, my friends, because I know when there are challenges in a country such as we have now, and we have many challenges, let us not pretend, we have serious challenges. We can very easily be tempted to miss each other, we start beating each other, to be divided and to mess ourselves up and destroy our country. I want to ask you, my fellow citizens, tafadhali nawaomba, tusipoteze imani, let us not lose hope in our country. Tukae na imani, we are a country that is built on resilience. Hizi shida zote tuko nazo hapa, tushikane sisi wote. Siku hiyo ikifika tutavuka hiyo daraja na tutaenda mbele. Mungu atatusaidia tufix hiyo maneno, hii nchi yetu iwe sawa sawa. Tumekubaliana? Mimi nawashukuru sana, tushikane sisi wote pamoja, tuende safari hii. Tushike kadi ya kura kushoto ili tuende pole pole tufike hapo. Mungu na wabariki, asante.
Fred Matiang'i was accompanied with very many other leaders, including leaders from the other parties. One conspicuous character there is Simba Arati, the ODM deputy party leader and the current Kisii governor. He was there and questions are being asked why he attended. It was a meeting of the Omogusi community, and he went there as a leader, as an opinion shaper, and he also had one message. In fact, he was telling Simba, this is your moment. From here, move to the other regions. And he reminded, and I believe he was reminding the Kenya Kwanza government that this is not a paid crowd. These are people who have come here voluntarily to welcome you and to show you that they believe in you.
Leo Mheshimiwa Matiang'i alikuwa amekuja nyumbani, akuje aone wananchi wa nyumbani. Mheshimiwa Matiang'i, hawa hawajalipwa hata ndururu kuingia hapa. Mimi naomba ndugu yangu Fred Matiang'i, tunataka tukwambie, toka tembea Nyanza, tembea Rift Valley, tembea Coast, tembea Northeastern, tembea Nairobi, na uhakikishe na viongozi wote wa nchi yetu tuhakikishe kwamba ambapo sisi pia tunaketi katika meza ya uongozi.
And the firebrand Saboti Member of Parliament Caleb Amisi had this to say after that rally. Kisii has fired the first shot. It is not a Matiang'i rally. It is the frustration of Kenyans across the country. Machakos, do something. Kakamega, we are coming. Kiburi ya viongozi wa broad-based lazima tuzime. That is Caleb Amisi. Boni Anwale, the Kakamega senator, had this to say. Former CS Fred Matiang'i in Kisii today. The Abagusi have now formally parted ways with William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga. 2027 is cooking. Ladies and gentlemen, if you read the sentiments, many people believe that Matiang'i has started a journey to liberate this country. And they feel that the Abagusi community have severed ties with the broad-based government. That is Raila Amolo Odinga and William Samoei Ruto. I'm sure if Kalonzo would call for a rally of Kamba community, he will also get the same. They will always come in large numbers just like that. If Rigathi Gachagua would want to call for a Mammoth crowd from Mount Kenya, they would do the same. If William Ruto decides today that he wants to rally Rift Valley and he calls for a rally like this, a rally that is just meant for Kalenjins, he will get the numbers. If Raila decides that he's calling a rally and he only needs people from the four counties, Homa Bay, Migori, Kisumu, and Siaya, Raila would get the same number. People will always come out. And this takes me to the next thing, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think Fred Matiang'i can liberate this country? Do you think that Matiang'i can finally get to Canaan with people? Do you think he can maneuver through the crocodiles, through the River Nile or Jordan or whatever, and get to Canaan? Kindly subscribe to our channel if you're watching us for the first time. Click the notification bell, like and share videos. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very true that the sons and daughters of Omogusi have decided that they are charting their own path. And the dominance that Raila has had in that region, I think, is gone, if you ask me, because they have settled in Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Fred will take after the footsteps of the late Simeon Nyachai. From that crowd, that is an endorsement. So Raila and William Ruto must not count on the votes of the sons and daughters of Omogusi unless they will pair up with Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Secondly, this is a clear message to the former CJ David Maraga. David Maraga seems to be placing himself as the Gen Z president. But at the backyard where he comes from, they seem to be telling Maraga, yes, you can, but we have endorsed Fred Okengo Matiang'i. So I don't know what Maraga is going to do if he's serious that he wants it. I know nationally, maybe Maraga has a national outlook, or he can enjoy support from other regions. But in Kisii and Nyamira, they have said it on one accord very explicitly that if we were to choose between you and Matiang'i, Matiang'i is our man. But ladies and gentlemen, as I've told you, it is good to have the backing of your people. That is what Raila has done, Kalonzo, Rigathi, all of them. But the question is, if votes from your people would give you the victory to become the president, many people would have become the president of this country. I want us to look at the challenges that Fred Matiang'i is going to meet on his way to 2027, because it was ecstatic, but the journey has just started. The moment of exuberance like this will end when he finally embarks on the journey. Ladies and gentlemen, what are some of the challenges? And I believe it also means that even if Matiang'i, what this means again is that the sons and daughters of Omogusi will now be speaking in one voice. They will negotiate through Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Now, what are some of the challenges? Number one, Fred Okengo Matiang'i has the challenge of uniting the leaders in Kisii. The people have spoken, but people like Osoro, that is the mouthpiece of Ruto there, people like Arati, who is the mouthpiece of Raila Amolo Odinga, there is a task ahead because they have, Matiang'i will force them through the wave of the people to rally behind him. And that is one of the biggest tasks because as a leader, you need to ensure that all these people are following you. So I don't know what is going to do, but it is always very easy when the people have decided that they are giving you that backup. It will force people like people like Simba, Arati, people like Osoro. They will be forced to support Fred Matiang'i because what will happen is that is the wave, that is the main river. You don't want to join, you are out. So because people like Osoro and Simba Arati would want their second term in offices, like Simba would want to get a second term in 2027, the ground is hot and he will be forced to follow and back Fred Matiang'i. That is what Waiguru did. Waiguru was really a very close ally to Uhuru Kenyatta. Until she really tried to stick to Uhuru Kenyatta until she realized that I will not make it. Mtu alishaharibu maneno kule and it was all yellow and she defected at the last minute. So people like Simba Arati might be forced to swallow the humble pie and back Fred Okengo Matiang'i, not because they like it, but the people have decided. So that unity, the ability to unite the leaders will also mean that you are indeed their prefect, you are indeed their leader, you lead from the front. Number two, after Nyamira and Kisii, Fred Matiang'i has to go and seduce other regions. And this is going to be one of the most difficult tasks because he has to get to Nyanza where Raila still has some influence. And he has to convince them that he wants their votes despite the fact that some still believe in Raila. He must convince them that he needs their votes when some still feel that, we are also going to produce a presidential candidate. He has to go to Cumberland and tell them that despite the fact that Kalonzo also wants that seat, he's begging and rallying for their support. He has to go to Mount Kenya and tell them, please support me. He has to go to Western where Mudavadi and Oparanya and Wetangula and everyone is there and tell them, despite the fact that you've got your leaders, please support me for this journey in 2027. That is another task because yes, you have the backing of your people. What about the backing of others? That is another task. The other mount to climb is the journey to look for a running mate. For you to become a president of this country, you need a running mate that is coming away from your region. Matiang'i, for example, cannot be a president if he picks a running mate from Nyanza, from Luo Nyanza. He cannot pick, for example, Professor Nyang from Kisumu, because that is Nyanza. That is the western part. He has to look for someone from Mount Kenya or Kambani OOKO, or maybe the closest can be western. So that is going to be one of the very biggest tasks. Because you go to, for example, you pick Alfred Mutua, but Kalonzo is also there, he wants it. So the people have to decide, are we going to vote for you because you have our Alfred Mutua, or we are following who? Kalonzo. If he gets a running mate, for example, Martha Karua, then the people of Mount Kenya, because we play tribal politics, they will still be asking, are we voting? Let's say Rigathi has endorsed someone else. Let's say they pick someone like JB Muturi. But then Martha also says, I'm supporting Fred Matiang'i. You see, people have to decide, and it's not very easy. So the choice of a running mate is another big task ahead of him. Then, within that camp, the opposition leaders, Gachagua, Martha, Eugene Wamalwa, Natembeya, Kalonzo Musyoka, Matiang'i has to convince them and persuade them that you need to support me. Each and every one of them would want to become the president. People like Muisa Kitui. And I know the serious people there who might not want to compromise is Matiang'i, Martha Karua, and Kalonzo Musyoka. The others, I think, can compromise. So, because, Matiang'i cannot go there that he wants to defeat William Ruto alone. Kenyans will demand that you need to unite with other opposition leaders. Now, if they don't rally together without unity, William Ruto is still going to trounce. So he has got that task of convincing them, of persuading them that indeed he's the man to beat. He's the man to give William Ruto a run for his money. Because there are vested interests and supremacy political battles there. It is not going to be very easy, for example, to tell Kalonzo, wewe nipigie kura. Kalonzo will tell him, Baba, wewe umekuja hapa juzi, ni support. So it is not going to be very easy. The last one, dealing with the NIS propaganda. Oh, Matiang'i, this is the time you will get headlines. Matiang'i meets Matiang'i meets William Ruto in State House at night. Jina lake litaanza kuchafuliwa. Already, there is a feeling that Matiang'i is working for William Ruto through Uhuru Kenyatta. He's a project. That is what people say. Those who believe in him are saying, no, this is nonsense. Matiang'i is an independent man. But others are saying that he is working for William Samoei Ruto. So those kind of notions are things that he has to deal with. So it was good. That was an ecstatic feeling. They endorsed him. They gave him a resounding reception. They showed the whole world that we believe in Matiang'i. But now, apart from believing in Matiang'i, does he command the support of other regions? Now, the very last one is, there is character assassination, or what people believe in. Others feel that Matiang'i is a dictator. He cannot change his mind. He's a man who believes, if he believes this is the way, he has to go there. And people are saying that one of the things that they don't like about William Ruto is dictatorship. William Ruto calls people mad if you don't believe in his agenda. It has to be his way or the highway. And they say taking a coin from the left pocket and putting it to the right pocket, there is no change. That is one notion. But the others are also saying Matiang'i ni mchapakazi. They need a strict person who can deal with corruption. So that abrasive and being strict works in both ways. Those who believe he's a dictator, but others believe that we need a man like Matiang'i who can confront the giant monster, corruption, to deal with it. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to think about Matiang'i. The journey is still ahead of us. The broad-based is watching. There will be a lot of betrayal, but Kenyans know what they want, and I know when the time comes, if it is Fred Matiang'i that was destined to cross with us to Canaan, then I know it will come to pass.